let's jump right into this explainer. If you're navigating the Pennsylvania healthcare system, getting your coverage locked in is an absolute priority. Today, we're unpacking exactly how the state's Medicaid system works, how you can actually check your application status without tearing your hair out, and how to stay firmly in control of your healthcare journey. So, let's get right to it.
So, are you currently waiting on a Pennsylvania Medicaid decision? Let's be totally honest here. Submitting a huge application for health coverage and then just sitting in the dark, waiting, it's incredibly anxiety-inducing. You're probably sitting there wondering, okay, did they even get my paperwork? Am I missing something? When am I actually going to be able to see a doctor? Look, you are definitely not alone in feeling that way. But here's the really good news. You don't have to just sit and wait. You actually have the power to track this process every single step of the way.
And that brings us to our very first major takeaway. 30 calendar days. That is exactly how long the state of Pennsylvania has to process your Medicaid application once you file it. Now, knowing this timeline is absolutely vital because it sets your baseline expectations. It tells you exactly when you need to sound the alarm and take action if you haven't heard back yet.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap. 1. Medicaid in Pennsylvania. 2. The application process. 3. Checking your status. 4. Troubleshooting common issues. 5. Pro tips for success. And finally, 6. Important disclaimers.
Moving right along to Section 1, Medicaid in Pennsylvania, the basics.
First off, in Pennsylvania, Medicaid is officially known as medical assistance. And we're not just talking about basic, run-of-the-mill doctor visits here. It's a really comprehensive healthcare program. It helps eligible folks access physical healthcare, behavioral healthcare, and even long-term supportive services. Now, generally speaking, your eligibility is tied to income limits. Specifically, you're usually eligible if you're an adult making at or below 133% of the federal poverty guidelines. To put that into perspective, for a single person, that's right around $19,391 a year. But keep in mind, things like pregnancy, disabilities, or having kids can heavily influence whether you qualify. Just knowing you might qualify is step 1, though. Next, you've got to get your details into the system.
Which brings us to Section 2, the application process, getting started.
So, the crucial point here is that preparation is quite literally everything. Having these specific documents ready up front is what prevents massive, headache-inducing delays down the road. Whether you're applying just for yourself or for your whole family, you're going to need to gather up social security numbers, concrete proof of your household income, identity and citizenship proof, like a birth certificate or a state ID, info on your resources, which means bank accounts and vehicles, and your federal tax filing information. Gathering all this beforehand keeps you firmly in the driver's seat.
Okay, so once your documents are all gathered up, you've got 4 main avenues to actually apply. The most prominent one is online, through the state's Secure Compass portal. You can also apply over the phone by calling 1-866-550-4355, by mailing in a good old-fashioned paper application, or by walking right into your local county assistance office in person. You should definitely go with the method that feels easiest for you. But I will say, applying online through that Compass portal is usually going to give you the fastest digital paper trail.
All right, Section 3, checking your status, the core steps.
This is where you go from feeling overwhelmed to totally in control. The state has actually set up a really fast, completely anonymous online tracker system at trackmybenefits.pa.gov. Get this, you don't even need to create a login to use it. It's super simple. Step 1, you just punch in the head of household's first name, last name, and date of birth. Step 2, you provide either the last 4 digits of their social security number or your specific Compass application number. Step 3, you just confirm your identity with one more piece of info like your county, your zip code, phone number, or email address. If all that data matches up perfectly, boom, your status pops right up on the screen.
And this brilliantly illustrates your 3 tracking options, depending entirely on what you actually need. Look, if you just want a super quick 24/7 status update in your pajamas, that online tracker at trackmybenefits.pa.gov is definitely your best bet. But say you've got specific questions about your application, or you just realize you need to update your mailing address, then you want to call the statewide customer service center at 1-877-395-8930. And finally, if you've got a super complex case, or you just really prefer face-to-face interaction, visiting your local county assistance office is going to give you that hands-on, personalized help.
So you log in, what exactly do you get to see? Well, it hands you some really highly actionable information. First, you're going to see the current administrative phase of your application. You'll also see if there are any upcoming scheduled appointments with a caseworker. But here's the real kicker. It'll flag any possible missing documents that the state is still waiting on from you. Spotting those missing documents early is an absolute lifesaver, you guys. because it gives you the chance to fix the issue way before it throws a wrench in your timeline.
Let's jump to Section 4. Troubleshooting common issues. Overcoming delays.
Obviously, the process isn't always perfect, right? So let's compare a smooth application to a delayed one. Now, a smooth application means you handed over all your verifications right up front, and the state makes an eligibility decision within those 30 calendar days we talked about earlier. But what happens if there's a snag? Well, state policy actually dictates that caseworkers literally cannot reject your application just for missing verifications until day 31. That said, if you completely fail to cooperate or drag your feet on providing what they asked for, it pretty much guarantees a flat-out denial the second that 30-day window closes. So, bottom line, if the tracker says you're missing documents, submit them immediately. Don't wait.
But hey, what if you were ultimately denied just because your income is a little too high? First of all, do not panic. Pennsylvania actually uses what they call a no wrong door policy, meaning if you happen to be over the Medicaid income limit, the Department of Human Services will automatically facilitate what they call a warm handoff. Basically, they'll transfer your application directly over to Penny, which is Pennsylvania's official health insurance marketplace. That way, you can explore low-cost, subsidized private healthcare alternatives, so you're not just left out in the cold without options.
Moving on to Section 5, Pro Tips for Success, Staying Organized.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that mobile app, the MyCompass PA mobile app, is an absolute game changer. It literally lets you snap photos of your missing documents and upload them straight from your phone, completely bypassing those agonizing physical wait times or mail delays. Also, pro tip for sure, always write down your Compass application number the exact second you get it. Next, have your social security number right there in front of you before you ever dial the helpline. And finally, think about creating a secure MyCompass account online. That's going to give you full long-term case management capabilities, way beyond what you get from just the anonymous tracker.
Almost done. Section 6. Important disclaimers. Protecting yourself.
Okay, just a quick reminder for everyone tuning in. While this explainer provides a pretty comprehensive roadmap based directly on official state resources, you know how it goes, policies and procedures can and do change. The information we're covering today is based on current processes, but your local county assistance office is always going to be the ultimate authority on your specific, unique case. So definitely make sure to consult official PA.gov resources or speak directly to a state professional to get personalized advice about your exact financial and medical situation.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this one question. What specific step are you going to take today to secure your health coverage in Pennsylvania? Are you going to finally gather up those tax documents? Are you going to head over to trackmybenefits.pa.gov right now just to double check if you're missing anything? Or maybe you're going to download that MyCompass PA app. The tools are quite literally right there at your fingertips. Securing Medicaid can absolutely change the game for your healthcare access, so take that next step today. Get the coverage you deserve and empower yourself with the facts. If you found this explainer helpful, please hit that subscribe button for more informational content. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay focused on your health.